What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room, episode 330. I am your host, Mistress Carrie. Welcome to the War Room, where we hang out every Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern, and I owe you an apology. We're a few minutes late tonight. So the neighbors have a cat that's kind of like a barn cat that they rescued, so it doesn't like to hang out in the house all the time. And the cat every now and again likes to come across the street and sit in the window to make the pugs angry. And so we were having a cat situation here at the compound, and the pugs were a little bit riled up tonight. So I apologize for the delay. Alexis and Will, Betty, Jonathan, Carol and Bish, Jason and Keith, Kim, all joining us here in the War Room. If you are new to Cocktails in the War Room, yes, we've done this 330 times. Yes, I have dogs on the couch with me. They will make snorting noises for your enjoyment in a little while. This is what we do on Tuesday nights. For the first 80 shows, it was every night because it was COVID. It started back March 14th of 2020. And then when we launched the Mistress Carrie podcast in the summer of 2020, we turned Cocktails in the War Room into a weekly show where we hang out in the war room of my house. It's an actual room in the house. We called it the War Room years before the show started. And it's where all my military memorabilia is, all my family's military memorabilia, and it's where the bar is, which is why during the pandemic that we started hanging out here. So if this is your first time in the War Room, the OG War Room family, as they have named themselves, have been through literally everything over the last 5.5 years with me, and they want to welcome the newbies. So if you're new to the War Room, chime in the comments. Let us know that it's your first time in the War Room. And Friday, come here. Let us know that it's your first time in the War Room, and let us know where you're watching from. And that way we can welcome you properly. I do want to introduce you to the co-host of the show. The Pug Cam is set up every week so that you can hang out with my best pals. This is Friday. And this is Wednesday, and you can find them on Instagram at Wednesday the Goth Pug. And I will leave the Pug Cam up so that you can watch them fight over that dragon toy, which is about to happen in 3, 2, 1. Friday, where are you going? Come over here. Friday's trying to get into the trash in the other room. And just as we were rolling the intro credits, I was pulling stuff out of her mouth because that's how much fun it is to have dogs. You guys know. Let's see. Ash says, what's up, MC and family? Sherry says, Jason, I hope you feel better. Tracy says, good evening, everyone. Bish says, dogs are better than cats. I agree. Sherry says, blueberry cobbler. If you're new to the War Room, by the way, there's a dictionary. That's what we call it. Just go to the Cocktails in the War Room section of mistresscarrie.com. Click the link that says dictionary, and it's a glossary of all of our inside jokes and like terms and stuff, so that in case people reference something like blueberry cobbler and you don't understand what they're talking about, you'll learn because there's a whole list of them up there. Bish says, definitely not my first time. Will says, notorious P-U-G. You know what's funny? Speaking of Notorious B.I.G., Forbes came out with their list of the most successful dead celebrities, and 2 of the members of Pink Floyd made the top 5 because Pink Floyd sold their catalog rights to Sony this year for about $400 million, which got split amongst the 5 Pink Floyd members and their estates, about $81 million apiece. And so that was... 2 of the guys on there. The 2 most lucrative deceased people, Michael Jackson, partially because of the Cirque du Soleil show in Vegas, and then obviously just the catalog getting played on the radio all the time. Dr. Seuss was number 2. And Notorious B.I.G. was in the top 10, actually. So that's what made me think of it. So Friday, where are you going? Friday, where are you going? Get over here. Come here. Come on. Come over here. Good girl, coming when I call you. Please stay out of the trash. I don't want you running around with garbage in your mouth. It's not like the kitchen trash barrel. It's like the ones in the bathrooms. Should be running around with dirty Q-tips. Disgusting. But that's what dogs do. Jessica says, I'm so late. No, you're not, Jessica, because so were we. Sherry says, no pants day. All stray feral cats. We have an issue with them, says Betty. So my neighbors actually, like, they rescued like a barn cat. And it has access to the house and access to the garage. It's got a little cat door, but the cat likes to come across the street and sit in the window and pick on the pugs. And the pugs just do not enjoy. Oh, here we go. They're going to fight over the dragon. I told you that was going to happen. And the pugs just do not enjoy the companionship. So they bark, and it gets brutal, right? Right? Yes. Stay out of the garbage. I love you too, but you got to stay out of the garbage. See how nice your sister is, just sitting over there with all of her toys? Can you just do that? Can you just sit and be a good girl? Do you want to come on my lap? Will that keep you out of the trash? Come here. Come sit down. There you go. Jessica says, how's the weather in Massachusetts? It's actually going to dip below freezing for the first time this season on Thursday night. So I actually spent, there you go, Wednesday. I actually spent time today, like trying to figure out, okay, what needs to be done before the first frost, like getting the garden hoses disconnected and all the lines flushed out and all that stuff. What's up, Ryan? Denise says, good evening, Carrie, Wednesday, Friday, and family. Donna joining us as well. Jonathan says, I like both cats and dogs, but I have a cat because I'm lazy. Pugs basically are the same thing. They're just, they're not as bitchy as cats are. Will says, hey, can you not throw the microphone in my face? Can you not do that? There. Yes, you can sit on me. There you go. How's that? Go ahead, say hi to everyone. I'm trying to make it so they can hear all your snorting. Just don't hit me with the microphone, please. Can you not do that? Can you not do that? Halloween was good. I still have a ton of candy left over. So there's a big bowl of candy in my kitchen, which is just a dangerous thing. Wednesday, are you going to come up on my lap too? What's going on here, ladies? What's happening right now? For anybody that's new to the War Room, it usually takes about 5 minutes, and then the dogs derail like everything. Are you good? Can you just sit? Huh? What's happening here? Oh, hugs in my lap. I got Wednesday. What do you want to come up too? I only have one lap. Come on, come here. You can come sit on my lap for a while. Come sit on my lap for a while. There you go. Don't be jealous. It's not becoming. Shane says, 2 weeks in a row, I'm up past my bedtime. How goes it, ladies and gents? Well, you got an extra hour of sleep because we changed the clock. So, all right, there's about to be a pug fight. Brendan down in Florida. He says, Mingya, Carrie, how are you? What's up, Brendan? What's going on? Bish says, good pug snort. What's on your shirt, says Brett. So couple things about the shirt. First of all, I voted today. I hope you guys did too. And I wanted to send a little bit of love to Jamaica. I don't know if you guys have ever had the opportunity to visit Jamaica. I did once years ago, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the people. I loved the music. I loved the food. I just loved the whole thing. And one of the things that happened while I was there is that I actually met a member of the Jamaican bobsled team, and he signed my shirt for me. So I wanted to wear my Jamaican bobsled team shirt in support of everybody that was just devastated by Hurricane Melissa, a Category 5 hurricane making landfall at St. Elizabeth and basically just leveling the place. I can't think of anything scarier than being in the path of a Category 5 hurricane and being on a little island and not being able to get off the island and having just nowhere to go. Being in the Northeast, we have had experiences with hurricanes, but not like people in the Gulf, not like people in Florida and further down south on the East Coast. The Northeast, yes, we get snow. And so many of my friends from around the country are like, I couldn't handle the cold. I couldn't handle the snow. Like I have friends in Arizona that have to check their shoes because of scorpions. I'll take the snow. Being in the path of giant tornadoes, I'll take the snow. Wildfires in California, I will take the snow. These crazy hurricanes that go through the Gulf and go through the Caribbean, I will take the snow. And so for the people of Jamaica that were recently just devastated by, sustained winds of 185 miles an hour and gusts of 215 miles an hour, like I just can't imagine. It's been windy as hell in the Northeast the last few days, gusts at like 40 miles an hour. And I'm looking around while I'm walking the dogs going, am I going to get hit by a tree? And that's 40 miles an hour. The idea of being in the way of a hurricane like that and taking it head on and not being able to go anywhere. I don't know how high above sea level parts of Jamaica are, but I can't imagine there's just a lot of places to run. It's just devastating. So I wanted to make sure that you guys saw, I actually got a sticker today. Sometimes when I go vote, they don't have stickers, but they had stickers today. And I just wanted to send some love to the people of Jamaica because the week that I spent there, like a lot of tourists, I just went there on a vacation and it was just such a wonderful week. The people were just so amazing and gracious and generous and fun, just really wonderful people that in a lot of ways have kind of figured out the secret to life of just enjoying life and relaxing and just good food and drinks and the ocean and amazing music. And so I just wanted to send a little bit of love to the people of Jamaica. Jonathan says, snow, the other swear word coming soon. Yeah, look, I don't want the snow, but if you're going to pick off the buffet of, say, natural disasters, right? Earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, mudslides, wildfires, I'll take the snow. Like, maybe it's because I was born and raised in the Northeast. I just don't think the snow and the cold are that big of a deal. Does it suck when it's like 0 degrees outside and I'm trying to get the dogs to go to the bathroom and they won't wear shoes and it's freezing cold? Like, yes, it's miserable. But I just would rather deal with that than like alligators. Like worrying about walking my pugs and worried about gators. I'll take the snow every time. Every freaking time. Christine says, so scary like this last year in Florida. Yeah, I totally get it. Bish says it was windy as fuck on my run this afternoon. Yeah, it's been crazy windy, but I'll take the Northeast when it comes to, the natural disasters that we get to pick from. Do I realize that the East Coast is on a fault line? Yes. Do I realize that hurricanes can make it all the way up the East Coast? Yes. Do ice storms scare the hell out of me? Yeah, absolutely. But in the grand scheme of things, when I see, I watched that movie about with Matthew McConaughey is in, The Lost Bus, about the Paradise, California wildfire, or, you see those movies about complete towns that have just been picked up and devastated because of a giant finger of God type of tornado. I'll take the snow. I'll deal with the cold. I'll sit by the wood stove and drink spiked hot apple cider under a blanket with my pugs and watch movies. Like, I'll take the snow. Yeah, Wednesday night into Thursday morning, it's going to get below freezing. So let's see. Want to catch up with Jonathan says, one of my TikTok friends lives in Jamaica. Oh, no way. Oh, here go the pugs again. Hold on, let me catch up on the comments. One of my TikTok friends lives in Jamaica, says Jonathan, and she is okay. Like the people that were stuck there, like on vacation, like relying on these resorts to literally save their lives, like just it's just so scary. And I just don't know if you've ever had the chance to go to Jamaica, but the people are wonderful. And I just watching all of the video footage of the devastation there. I just wanted to send a little love to the people in Jamaica. And with the Olympics coming up, like I always look forward to those countries that are trying something that they have no history with, like the Jamaican bobsled team. Like, how can you not root for people like that? Eric says that movie is fantastic and I hate Matthew McConaughey. How can you hate the McConaughey? I love the McConaughey. Good Girl Friday. So yeah, I'll take the snow. So I apologize. We were having a pug issue with the cat next door, which is why the show was late. I explained the shirt. I hope you guys all voted. The polls have closed. So I'm sure that results in all of these local elections, which is what all of the voting was today. Local mayoral elections, city council, school committee elections, which unfortunately a lot of people skip. And they're actually really important because those policies that affect you directly, your property taxes locally, your kids' education, the fiscal health of the cities and towns that you live in, that all gets determined by these off-cycle elections that don't sync up with the federal election. So I hope you guys took the opportunity to get involved with your local elections. Let's see. Jessica wants to know, is there any news on Brad Arnold? Only what he shares on Instagram. And every now and again, he'll chime in on Instagram. Recently, he posted that it was his wedding anniversary, or, he'll put up a picture of him walking his dog in the woods. You can obviously tell that he's battling cancer. And I mean, he talked about it. I'm not giving out secrets, but you can tell that he is in the middle of a health battle because he's very skinny right now, and definitely looks like he's fighting for his life, which he is. So there has not been any kind of press release from the band to give an update on his health or his treatments or the future of the band or anything like that. So Eddie the Eagle. Yeah, exactly. Eric says Matthew doesn't shower or use deodorant. I bet Matthew McConaughey smells delicious. I'm sorry. I'm one of those people that like smells people. Like The Rock, to me, seems like somebody that smells really good. I met Paul Pierce from the Celtics years ago. He was in the hallway at AAF and he saw me in the studio. He was walking by my studio and he popped his head in and I yelled, "Truth!" And he like came in and said hi. And the first thing I did was compliment him on how he smelled. And he was like, "Thank you." And he told me what the cologne was. I don't remember what it was, but I do remember Googling it after he left and it was expensive. But like, I'm one of those people that notices how people smell. And I bet Matthew McConaughey, even if he doesn't wear deodorant, I just bet that his sweat smells good. But that's just me. Kevin says, "What's up, MC? Wednesday and Friday." Joshua says, "Lizzie Hale smells delicious." She does, actually. And I've commented her on how good she smells as well. So there you go. Eric says, "Carrie, go play nude bongos with Matthew." Are you kidding me? Don't threaten me with a good time. I will play naked bongos with Matthew McConaughey any day and twice on Sundays. Melissa says, "Welcome newbies to everybody that's new to the War Room. The War Room smells like booze and anxiety and sex," says Bish. Is that necessarily a bad thing? I don't know what anxiety smells like, but booze and sex, I know what that smells like, and that doesn't smell bad. So the late Taylor Hawkins smelled so good. Agreed. When I met him at Fenway, him, Dave Grohl, and Pat Smear, they all smelled great. I don't go out of my way. Like, I don't walk up to people and go, like, it's not it. It's just, I just notice when people smell good. It just, I'm one of those people, I guess. I don't know. I'm weird. You guys know this by now. None of these things should surprise you. All right, for anybody that's new to the War Room, you have been welcomed properly by the War Room family. And if you're like, "Holy crap, Carrie, where have you been?" Which 5.5 years after AAF got sold. I still get that. Are you back on the radio? What are you doing now? Yes, I'm busier than ever. You're here with me in the War Room, episode 330. You can hear me every weekday from 10 to 3 on Charleston's Best Rock, 98 Rock in Charleston, South Carolina. You can listen online from anywhere at my98rock.com, and you can also download the free 98 Rock app if you want to listen to the show that way. You can hear me every weekday afternoon from 3 to 7 on 100 FM The Pike in Massachusetts. You can listen at pikefm.com, and you can also download the free Pike app. And next Tuesday, want to let you guys know, a week out, no War Room next Tuesday, because I'm going to be on location next Tuesday afternoon at the American Heritage Museum in Hudson, Mass. I'll be on the air on the Pike from 3 to 5. The American Heritage Museum, if you are a history buff at all, if you love American history, all eras of American history, this museum is unreal. And it's Veterans Day next Tuesday. And so the museum is free for veterans. It's open to the public all day, but if you're a veteran, you get in free. And I got all the details, the link, the directions, everything you need to know on the concert and event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. But I'll be broadcasting live on Veterans Day next Tuesday from 3 to 5 at the American Heritage Museum in Hudson, Mass. So number one, please come and hang out with me. Number two, if you're a veteran, enjoy the museum for the day. You get in free, so go and check the place out. It's really, really cool. And also, there will be no War Room next Tuesday because I'm going to be here for Veterans Day. And also, you can hear me every weekday from 3 to 7 on 106.3 The Bone in Portland, Maine. You can listen at 1063thebone.com, and you can also download the free Bone app. And most recently, as of Valentine's Day of this year, you can hear Mornings with Mistress Carrie on Laser 99.3 and 98.5 in Springfield, Mass. You can listen at laser993.com, and you can also download the free Laser app. So lots going on with the radio. And also this Saturday is the Lane Staley East benefit concert that is happening at the Crystal Ballroom at the Somerville Theater. This is also up on the concert and event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. So if you are an Alice in Chains fan, this is going to be a whole tribute to the legacy of Lane Staley, raising money for the Lane Staley Foundation, which helps artists, musicians, and their families that are battling addiction. So if you love Alice in Chains music, this is going to be an awesome night, and I'm honored to have been asked to be the MC. So this is on Saturday night at the Somerville Theater, and details on that are up on the concert and event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. One of the cool things about Halloween was that these guys released their new album, Don't Go in the Forest. Johannes Eckerstrom from Avatar, my guest last week on episode 282 of the Mistress Carrie podcast. And if you have not yet checked out Avatar, they're an interesting group. First of all, Johannes Eckerstrom is really, really tall. He's like 6'5", and he dresses like an evil clown on stage, as you can see in the picture. But one of the funny things that he does on social media, he calls it Gandalfing because he's so tall, and he's like constantly hitting his head on stuff. And so he spends a lot of time doing that stuff on social media as well. But we talked about the new album. We talked about traveling and touring. We spent a lot of time talking about the influence of Black Sabbath and Ozzy on Avatar as well. So this is episode 282. So if you have not checked it out yet, the brand new album, Don't Go in the Forest, is available everywhere. And if you have not yet subscribed to the Mistress Carrie podcast, what are you waiting for? New episodes come out every Wednesday. So tomorrow, episode 283 comes out with Scott Anderson from Finger 11, who I talked to a little bit ago because the guys were in town in Western Massachusetts playing at the Big E. And so I was like, hey, I want to sit down and talk to Scott again because this new record is coming out in November. So the new Finger 11 album comes out this Friday. So that's why the episode got delayed in release, is because I wanted it to come out the week of the album release. So Scott Anderson coming back to the podcast. We talked a lot about how to pack to go on tour. Talked a lot about his socks and underwear, actually, which is kind of hilarious. But we also talked about like fair food. We talked about Ozzy. We talked about the new album and the songwriting process. Christine says, oh my God, 5.5 years. That doesn't seem possible. I know. Just saying 5.5 years ago is kind of insane. Earlier today, I went down to visit my mom's grave because my sister and I had put some things on the grave that we didn't want to be there through the snow. And so I went down today to kind of do a little fall cleanup of my mom's, of all of the things we planted around her headstone. And as I was doing that, I kind of realized that next month will mark a year since she passed. And like, it kind of like stopped me for a second because I couldn't believe that it's been an entire year already. That like, as we're getting ready to go through the holidays, I could not believe that like this is the first Thanksgiving without my mom, who passed like right before Christmas last year. And that like we're coming up on the anniversary of her passing, which just, and so if it's a year for my mom, the idea that it's 5.5 years for AAF, just even saying that out of my mouth is just crazy. And yet so much has happened. I mean, 330 episodes of Cocktails in the War Room, 283 episodes of the Mistress Carrie podcast, on top of the like 30 bonus episodes that have come out. Never mind the sit rep that I've been doing for like 4 years. So if you look at the number of audio files that have been uploaded onto the Mistress Carrie podcast, it's like 1,300 or 1,400 or something, which is just insane. So obviously it's been 5.5 years because we've all done so much since then. But it's just weird. Karen Hayes says, hey, Mistress Carrie, just wanted to thank you for the birthday shout out on October 31st for my friend Marlene. Sadly, she didn't hear it, but she said the world heard her birthday wish, so she was cool with it again. Thank you. You're welcome, Karen. I'm sorry you guys didn't hear it, though. But I'm glad that, you know, she's happy that the world heard it, so that's good. Eric says, Carrie, did you see Amazon Music has an updated hard rock version of Davy Jones' song Girl that they used in the Brady Bunch movie? Eric, I did not see that. Let me tell you. So obviously I was not old enough to watch the Monkees when it came out on television. But I've told you guys in the past that I grew up in my family's bakery, that when I was a kid, I would take the bus to school from home and I would get on a different bus that would drop me off by the bakery so that I would go to where my parents were working, and my grandparents lived above the bakery. And so, I never had like babysitters at home. I was just always kind of at the bakery. And if my mom was working, because my parents both had other jobs besides the family business. So my dad was a firefighter, my mom was a nurse. And so those schedules sometimes didn't sync up. And so sometimes we spent a lot of time with our grandparents, which we were really fortunate to have our grandparents around and young enough to be able to watch my sister and I. And before streaming, right, there was reruns. And so I religiously watched the Monkees. Like, I loved the Monkees. I loved the wackiness of it. I knew the songs. So, and I loved the Brady Bunch, which I watched in reruns as well. And so those crossover episodes with Davy Jones going to Marsha's prom and like all of that was like, oh. So no, I did not know there was a new version of Girl, which I still know all the lyrics to that song because I love the Monkees so much. So yeah, I did not know that, but now I'm going to go looking for it. Heidi says, my mom would play the Monkees all the time. So nostalgic. Look, the Monkees were like a made up like boy band in the beginning, right? But the people that wrote those songs were really good songwriters. Like, those songs are really good songs. I'll fight you on it. Those songs are perfectly crafted pop songs. Like Last Train to Clarksville. Like, those songs are so good. Fantastic. Hey, we're the Monkees, says Carol. I'll have to check it out, says Heidi. Yeah, me too, for sure. Alexis says, I loved the Monkees. Yeah, If you've never, go make your kids watch the Monkees, because there's a really cool car and they do wacky stuff. And there's really, like, that show is made for like kids. The songs are super catchy. It's all like wacky and funny, and I love that show. All right, so episode 283 of the podcast comes out at midnight with Scott Anderson from Finger 11. And if you subscribe to the podcast, you get the full-length episodes every Wednesday. You get bonus episodes when they come up. And also Monday through Friday, you get the Situation Report. It's around 5, 6, 7 minutes long, and it's all your rock headlines, music updates, entertainment updates. And then you can just go about your day. You can also hear little mini sit reps on Laser 99.3 and 98.5 in Springfield, and also on 106.3 The Bone in Portland, Maine. And if you're wondering where you can subscribe to the Mistress Carrie podcast, everywhere. Just whatever podcast app is your favorite, just search the Mistress Carrie podcast. You'll find that right there. You'll know you're in the right place, and just subscribe. And if you would rather listen on YouTube, you can do that. It's part of the Pantheon Podcast Network, so you can listen through there. And if all else fails, just go to mistresscarrie.com, find the episode you want to listen to, and click play. I literally could not make it easier. Still holding strong at 149 countries listening to the Mistress Carrie podcast. So thank you guys for continuing to share the episode. Someday we're going to get to 150. Someday. I hope someday we will. If you're celebrating your birthday today, you're sharing it with good friend of the show, Troy McClawhorn, who has been in Evanescence since 2007, but he was in Double Drive. He was in Seether. He was in Dark New Day. He's been on the show a bunch of times, just a long time, back to the Double Drive days. He grew up with the Seven Dust Guys, and that's how I was introduced to him, when the Seven Dust Guys were recording Home back in, late 98, early 99. So happy birthday to my good friend Troy. And also Wayne Static from Static X was born on this date in 1965. So Stacy says, girl, look what you've done to me. I know, I love that song so much. Eric says, old pop songs are now being redone by bands like Disturbed and Five Finger Death Punch. Look, Zeppelin covered songs. Like all of those bands that are like the old bands from the 60s and 70s, they covered songs too. I love cover songs. Like, I've always been a fan of cover songs. So the idea that somebody would cover the Monkees, like, yeah, awesome. Happy birthday, and happy unbirthday, Keith. Cheers to you guys if today's your birthday. Jessica says today is my cousin's birthday. Happy birthday to your cousin. Lots of stuff to talk about as far as music goes. So yesterday, AC/DC answered the question, are they going to retire from touring? The answer is no. They're doing another North American and another South American tour in 2026. Nothing in the Northeast got scheduled, but today it was announced that Taylor Momsen and the Pretty Reckless are once again going to be opening up the Power Up Tour in North America, which is a huge call. Taylor Momsen was on episode 277 of the Mistress Carrie podcast, and we talked a lot about what it's been like to tour with the AC/DC guys over the last 2.5 years. So it doesn't surprise me that she's doing another leg of the tour. The guys from Shinedown have announced that they are starting their own music festival. It's going to be on Miramar Beach in Florida next October. It's called the Lunatic Ball. And Flyleaf is going to be there. Bush is going to be there. They're still working things out. It's a year out. They have not put the tickets up for sale. Obviously, Shinedown is going to headline their own festival, but I think that's pretty cool. And the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction is on Saturday night. It's going to stream starting at 8 o'clock on Disney Plus. And we know that Taylor Momsen is going to be singing with Soundgarden, as is Brandi Carlile. Mike McCready, Jerry Cantrell, and Nancy Wilson are all going to be on stage paying tribute to Soundgarden as well. Joe Perry got added to the list of people that are going to be there. Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Paul Rogers announced yesterday that he is not going to be able to perform with Bad Company, who are also getting inducted, which is definitely a bummer, but he has been dealing with like serious health issues. He's had 11 minor strokes and 2 major strokes, and he's still kicking. And he just said his voice is still great, but it's the stress of everything else. And he just wishes that he could be there, but he's just not going to be able to be there. 21 pilots are going to do Seven Nation Army in tribute to the White Stripes. And the question about whether or not Meg and Jack White are going to be there to accept the award, are they going to perform together for the first time in a really long time? Nobody knows the answers to these questions. But that's on Saturday night, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And it's a who's who. It's live from the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles. Disney Plus is going to stream it live. So let's talk about some tours and shows that have been announced. Stevie Nicks is going to be at the TD Garden on the 24th. Machine Gun Kelly's going to be at the Garden December 12th. 9 Inch Nails in February. Bad Omens in March. Iron Maiden and Megadeth in September of next year. Like, it's insane that we're talking about shows like Rush next September as well. So all of these shows are up for sale right now, and they are all up on the concert and event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, 2 shows at the DCU Center, the matinee show and the night show on November 29th. There's also 2 shows at the Mohegan Sun Arena, and there's also 2 shows at the SNHU Arena in Manchester, New Hampshire. And Bring Me the Horizon is going to be at the DCU Center on May 1st with Motionless in White. A bunch of bands are going to be at that show. From Ashes to New is going to be at Big Night Live in Boston this weekend. So if you have not been to Big Night Live, that's the concert venue that's like kind of attached to the TD Garden now. Nothing has been announced yet for the concert series at the Xfinity Center next summer, but they're already putting tours up for sale for next fall, so we know that those announcements are coming. Later this month, Seven Dust and their acoustic Southside double-wide tour at the Somerville Theater will be there on the 22nd. The reunited Lemonheads are at the Wilbur on the 26th. Spirit Box at the Toyota Oakdale Theater, and these guys did something really cool. They put a map on their website so that they could highlight local businesses around each concert stop, hoping Spirit Box fans will go and support local businesses where the band is playing, which I think is great. Bush and Soul Asylum are going to be at the Mohegan Sun Arena. Also, Heart is going to be at the SNHU Arena on December 12th. December 10th and December 12th at the Oakdale Theater. Creed Miss is happening at the Mohegan Sun Arena with Seven Dust December 30th. Seven Dust will be plugged in for that one. Ghost at the Mohegan Sun Arena at the end of January. Kenny Wayne Shepherd at the Chevalier Theater. Pussifer at the Wang. And then Rush on top of the shows they're doing at the Garden. They'll be at the Mohegan Sun Arena on October 30th and November 1st. They added 2 shows to Mohegan as well. Let's see. Mark says Michael Nesmith was a damn good songwriter. One song that comes to mind is Different Drum. He penned it and it was a hit for the Stone Ponies in Linda Ronstadt's band. Yeah, the guys in the Monkees are all talented. They just at first were kind of labeled as like this manufactured like boy band, but those songs are good. I refuse to apologize for loving the Monkees. Youngblood is going to be at the Leaderbank Pavilion. That show sold out in just a couple of minutes, June 9th in Boston. Still waiting. I think the guys in the Foo Fighters, because they just announced their massive tour for next year and nothing in New England yet. They're doing big stadiums like Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. I know they love playing Fenway. I'm curious if the Foos want to play Gillette or if they want to do a couple of dates at Fenway like they usually do, but they have not announced any Fenway dates for anybody yet. The Palladium has got Guar later this month, Atreyu later this month, and Highly Suspect coming up in December. Are you guys being very good? The dogs are over here instead of where the pug cam is. You guys are going to make me have to get a second camera so that I can put a pug cam on either side of the couch, because you guys keep sitting on the side of the couch where there's no camera. They're just like all snuggled up together. MGM Music Hall at Fenway, Sabaton with Pop Evil is going to be there on March 12th. And the Dropkick Murphys taking up residency at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway, leading up to their show at the House of Blues on actual St. Patrick's Day. Speaking of the House of Blues, Jason Bonham's going to be there on the 11th, celebrating the 50th anniversary of Physical Graffiti with Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Mammoth and Miles Kennedy will be there on the 12th, Avatar on the 26th, Nothing More in February, the Dropkicks on St. Patrick's Day, the Hives on the 20th, and Alter Bridge with Filter and Tim Montana on May 10th. Charmed Healer says, how do you know all of this? What do you mean? How do I know? How do I know about all the concerts? Because there's a concert calendar on my website that has all of these dates up there. Any news about Sully? Well, the Godsmack guys are scheduled to play Sonic Temple next year, which is the first date that they have announced. And there's no word yet on who's going to be playing guitar or drums for Godsmack. But Godsmack has one date so far scheduled for 2026, and it's the Sonic Temple Festival. So Kevin says the Monkees equals the American Beatles. I mean, look, the Monkees aren't even in the same ballpark as the Beatles when it comes to number of hits and just albums sold and all of that stuff. But yeah, they were designed around the success of the Beatles, of course. Ralph says, hey, Carrie, Wednesday and Friday, going to see Verdi's Requiem at Symphony Hall on November 23rd. Sorry, it's not metal. Look, any live music, anything that gets people listening to music other than the speaker of their iPhone, just going and supporting musicians of any genre of music, I think is a huge thing. Like, music, in my opinion, should be experienced live by the people that created it, if and all possible. But I mean, just supporting music in any way, shape, or form. Look, it doesn't have to be rock music. Karen says, did you dress the pugs up for Halloween? So because of my niece's wedding last weekend, like the weekend before Halloween, I bought them skirts that were like black lacy skirts with spider webs all over them to wear to the wedding. So they didn't wear costumes per se. They just had these little cobweb dresses that I got for my niece's wedding. So yes, they did. But I don't know if I have any pictures from the wedding of them running around, but I did walk them around the tent with their little dresses on so that they could show off everybody could see how pretty they were. So, all right. Those are the House of Blues shows. Let's see. Howl, Owl, Howl, which is Mike Mills from REM, Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish, and Steve Gorman from the Black Crowes. That show is at the Paradise on the 8th. Tom Morello and Friends is going to be at the Paradise on the 17th. He's also got a show at the Fox Theater at Foxwoods as well. Coming up on the 20th, Luke Spiller from the Struts is going to be at City Winery. I think that's like an unplugged acoustic show. And the Del Fuegos are going to be there for 2 shows on December 20th. Symphony Hall, great venue for that. Yeah, Mr. Cole, absolutely. Symphony Hall is beautiful. The Stage at Suffolk Downs has not announced their concert season for next year yet, but I will definitely keep you up to date as soon as they start announcing all of these outdoor shows for next year. Let's see. I just want to make this list a little bit bigger. All right, new releases coming out this Friday. Agnostic Front, The Cranberries, the Finger 11 album, Last Night on Earth, that we talk about extensively on this week's podcast episode. Also, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, Bold as Love, the box set. Portugal the Man releasing Shish. Revis, remember that band Revis? They have a new album called Killing Time. I always love that band. Slash is releasing his live album from the Serpent Festival that he went out on this summer. And Wings, the definitive self-titled collection, is out this Friday as well. Nothing in the mail call as of yet for this week. I went today. There was nothing in there. I did get some news, though. Backstage pass holders, you know what I'm talking about. Since we're not going to have the War Room next week, when we come back in 2 weeks, there will be a really cool custom piece of merch in time for the holidays that is going to be on the website by the time we're meeting back here in the war room. So I told you guys I'm going to be broadcasting for Veterans Day next Tuesday, so no war room next Tuesday. But I've been trying to add some new things to the online store. The reflective beanies are in the store right now. There are new stickers in the sticker packs that you can get. And obviously, if you see me out and about, I can hook you up with stickers as well. But you can just go to the online shop at mistresscarrie.com. Backstage pass holders. So we had a live stream over the weekend, and normally the Backstage pass holders, we do a stream like we do for the War Room. This time around, we decided to put everybody on Zoom together, and it was awesome. So to everybody with a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, we did the live stream this past Sunday night. We do them once a month outside of the War Room. And if you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, you also find out who's going to be on the podcast before anybody else, so you can send me questions. You get travel blog updates, early access to event information and tickets, exclusive concert ticket giveaways, of which there are more coming, merch discount codes when new merchandise gets debuted. So getting a Backstage Pass, definitely get one if you don't have one yet. It's super inexpensive. You can get it at patreon.com/Mistress Carrie, or just click the Patreon logo at mistresscarrie.com. Let's see. Kevin says, I once saw the Australian Bee Gees. They were great. Look, there are Bee Gees. I watched it during COVID. There was a Bee Gees documentary. It's awesome. Like, I love all of that music too. Those are great songs. The Bee Gees were huge for a reason, because they wrote really good songs. Any news on Jelly Roll other than just making the news every 5 seconds? He's on the new Bon Jovi album, so he's killing it. Ralph says the new Sabaton album is killer. Yeah, it's called Legends. It's really, really good. Melissa says, Carrie, can you give a shout out to my neighbor Karen? She defended her dissertation tonight and is now a doctor in theater. Is that theology? Congrats, Dr. O. Drinks and cheers. Wait, a doctor in theology or theater? Which one? Both are great. Like, defending your thesis, like your dissertation, like, that's huge. Let's see. Christine says, I couldn't Zoom. Is it because you weren't available, or you couldn't get the Zoom to work, Christine? Because we want to definitely Zoom again for the next one, so we got to figure that out. Boston Biotic says, did you see Primer 55 is touring? Yes, like, all of those new metal bands are all getting back together and touring, and I am here for it. I think it's awesome. Yes, I saw that Diane Ladd passed away. Super sad about that. Yeah, I mean, you look at bands. Did you see what happened? So the Deftones over the weekend, speaking of these new metal bands that are bigger now than they ever were, the Deftones had their show Dia de los Deftones over the weekend. And they finally, after years and years and years of bootleg merch, partnered with Dickies and made a Dickies line of Deftones merch. And it debuted on the Deftones website today. And they all sold out within like 2 hours. Just huge. Melissa says it's theater, but didn't know if it's called theology. No, theology is like religion, like studying like religions. So unless I'm wrong, I don't think I am. Keith says there was a Zoom. Yes, Keith. If you have a Backstage Pass, I put it up there with the link and everything. Yeah, we Zoomed on Sunday. Bish says, Carrie running in the Disabled Vets 5K on Castle Island on Saturday. That is awesome. Leading up to, of course, the Marine Corps birthday is coming up on Monday, and then Veterans Day on Tuesday. Next week is the 9th anniversary of the night that I met my husband, which is just, we were talking earlier just about, how much time has passed. Like, I can't believe we met 9 years ago. Like, it's just bonkers for me to even think about that. Lisa says, I didn't know that there was a Zoom also. Do you guys not have your notifications set up on Patreon? Because I put it all up there. I'm bummed that you guys missed it. We'll do it again, though. It was really fun. So that is where you get a backstage pass, and want to remind you guys about all of the places that you can find me online, all my social accounts, and then all of the radio stations and all the radio station apps and websites that you can listen to me on the radio every weekday. And we got to talk about what's going on with the shutdown, because with Veterans Day coming up, there's a lot of veterans, a lot of disabled veterans that are not going to get resources that they need. And even today when I went to go vote, they were doing a food drive at the polling place today. And so with Veterans Day coming up, the Veterans Rock group on Facebook that I have has got like 4,500 members now. And it's really, really important that if you are a veteran and you are struggling, there are resources getting posted up on this group all the time about ways that people want to help veterans, especially because of the shutdown. If you are a veteran that's out of work and you're looking for work, there are always businesses that are posting that are looking for help. It's a great place to find veteran-owned businesses that are trying to promote themselves in this group. There's also a ton of nonprofits that are looking to help veterans. They're always hosting events that they're trying to promote up there. And for civilians, if you want to get involved and support the veterans community, this is a great place for you to start. There's a lot of veteran service officers that are part of this group that can answer specific veterans questions. And just with everything going on in DC, or everything that's not going on in DC, like our veterans community is among the group of people that are suffering. And so this is a great place to share information and to find out about resources. And just a reminder about the American Heritage Museum. I'll be broadcasting live from 3 to 5 next Tuesday, so no War Room next Tuesday. But veterans get into the museum for free, so if you want to go with your family, it cuts the cost down a little bit because the veterans admission is free. And the museum's open all day. I'll be there broadcasting live in the afternoon, so Bish says 9 years flies by for you crazy kids. I know, it's just nuts. Just crazy that it's been 9 years. I can't even believe it. So before I let you guys go, obviously, because we're not going to be together next week. So happy Veterans Day. Happy birthday to the Marine Corps. So cheers to all of you guys. Jonathan says, I love that museum. Stacy says, there are signs in every aisle of the supermarket that I go to encouraging people to pitch in a few cans or whatever they are able to. Yeah, we talked about it in the live stream on Sunday night. You know, I was lucky enough to have a friend that had an old chest freezer that he didn't want anymore and asked me if I wanted it. And I am constantly making big batches of soup and stuff that I'm always freezing. And part of it is because I love eating homemade soup all winter. But the other thing is that I make it to take care of my family too. That if there's people in the family that are sick, if somebody is struggling, like I try to prepare for these kinds of things. And it's really hard for people that are struggling right now. You know, grocery bills have gone up. People are working without getting paid. So they're going into debt just to get to work because they still have to pay for their car and they still have bills to pay and their mortgage and gas and everything. And so any way that you can help people that need help, help them. But the other thing is, it's not our job. That's the government's job. Like, we have programs in place that are already funded to be able to be these safety nets for our fellow Americans. And just as the weather gets colder and people are trying to figure out how to heat their homes, as we get closer to the holidays and they're trying to figure out how they're going to feed their families, choosing between heat and rent, choosing between keeping the lights on and food or medication, you know, if they're diabetic and they need insulin, it doesn't seem like we're anywhere close to any kind of solution in DC. And with the holidays coming up and the cold weather coming, especially like this week in Massachusetts, that we're going to get below freezing for the first time this fall, any way that you can help anybody in your community. If you have something that you're willing to offer up, just please keep an eye on this group, because I think the further we get into this shutdown, especially with the veterans community, there's going to be a lot of traffic on this page offering help, veterans looking for help. So if you need help, please ask for it. And if you can offer help, please give it, because we all need to stick together right now. So is there cash in the frozen soup? Melissa says. A little throwback to the live stream we had on Sunday night. We got into a whole story about my grandfather and stuff. So no, there's no cash in the soup. Eric says, my brother-in-law works at Bath Iron Works and his commute is 40 miles away and he's working for free and has 4 kids. He's so scared because 2 of the kids are autistic and my sister has diabetes. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, it's just crazy that people, there's so many criticisms about these social programs. Well, people shouldn't be on food stamps. People shouldn't be on welfare. This is a person with a family and a job that is scared in America in 2025. There's plenty of money, right? Like there's plenty of money. We just have a bunch of idiots right now that can't get along in a room long enough to solve our problems. And, on election night, it's going to be really interesting what happens in these local elections and then what happens over the next year before the next national election a year from now. So just stay safe, guys. Help where you can. Help your neighbors, help our veterans community. The War Room, you guys have become this family amongst yourselves. And so I know that you guys have groups and ways that you communicate when we're not together on Tuesday nights. If there's people in the War Room family members that are in need of help, we all need to stick together. So, Marcy, exactly. The shutdown sucks. Perfectly stated. Absolutely. All right, guys, episode 283 of the Mistress Carrie podcast goes live at midnight with Scott Anderson from Finger 11, whose new album comes out on Friday. So, girls, are you ready to say goodnight? Friday? Do you want to say, come here. You want to say goodnight? You want to snort in the microphone? Go ahead. Say goodnight. Good night, everybody. Say good night.